If I told you Jujutsu Kaisen's most wasted character was a woman who died off screen, you'd probably guess Maki. And while I do agree that her initial underutilization was frustrating, I think there's another candidate, someone whose hype stretched across multiple years, only for them to be unceremoniously taken off screen. Someone whose death felt less like a plot point and more like an opportunity missed. Someone who quite literally had the power to change the world. That's right. We're talking about none other than the one, the only Yuki. Now, before we get into how she would have been better off, let's talk about why her treatment feels so bad. One reason being that she was hyped for literally years, since Volume 0, no less. She was mentioned as Kenjaku's equal, his other half, his rival even. Someone who wielded a technique so powerful it warped reality. Yet when she finally showed up, it took less than one fight to take her out. To say this felt like a letdown is an understatement. Not only that, but her coolest technique, Star Rage, which, as far as we can tell, involves creating masked black holes to manipulate people from afar, was also only used in that one fight. Considering how thematically perfect it would have been to see her use that ability to influence people on a larger scale, maybe even become a politician or something, it feels criminal that we never got to see it. And speaking of thematic, that's another reason why her death felt like a waste. Think about it. All throughout the series, characters struggle with cursed energy. They fear its effects, they resent having to use it, and then comes along Yuki, someone who rejects cursed energy entirely. Not because she can't control it, but because she believes it shouldn't exist at all. Finally, someone who understands the root of the problem. Someone who could theoretically change the world. So she dies and the world stays the same. It's almost as if the author didn't know what to do with her. But hold on, because I know what some of you are saying. You're saying there's a defense for Gege's choice. Her death, while unexpected, was actually necessary to prove Kenjaku's threat level like nothing else could have. It forced Tengen to evolve, to tap into his own cursed technique in order to survive, which he wouldn't have done otherwise. And you know what? I agree. There is a case to be made that her death served a greater purpose. Not only did it emphasize the stakes, but it also moved the plot forward. Besides, this is JJK we're talking about, a series known for keeping its powerhouses off screen. For killing characters with a fraction of their potential still left to be explored to do. Anyone? What I'm trying to say is that while I understand the necessity of certain plot points, that doesn't mean I have to like them or worse, accept them as inevitable. So here's how Yuki could have been saved. Option 1, the flashback arc. Exploring her past alongside Geto and Gojo would not only give us more insight into how the brainwashing program affected those with special abilities, but it would also flesh out the world building. Option 2, survive and mentor. Imagine if instead of dying, she trained Yuta or Megami, passing down her knowledge on gravity techniques. Not only would this make sense thematically, but it would also give her a purpose beyond being Kenjaku's former apprentice. Option 3, die later. While colliding with Sukuna's ideals would be a great way to take her out, it doesn't have to be. There are plenty of other villains in the Jujutsu Kaisen universe who could have done just as well. Look, I'm not trying to watch Jujutsu. I love this show. But I can't help but feel that by killing Yuki, Gege not only robbed us of a potentially amazing character, but also failed to capitalize on one of the only opportunities to showcase strong female sorcerers in action. Speaking of which, that's another reason why her death felt so bad. Just as Maki proved that Gege can write strong women who are defined by their looks or their relationships with men, Yuki could have done the same. Instead, we got Nobara, who is cool and all, but let's be real, she's basically a walking, talking fan service scene. And I say this as someone who hasn't even seen the anime. Don't look at me like that. I read the manga. I know what happens. In conclusion, Yuki Tsukumo may not be wasted potential in the sense that she accomplished her purpose in moving the plot forward. But that doesn't mean I cool, be mad that she might have accomplished so much more if given the chance.